Welcome to our Science and Technology Briefing show. Today, we've got some fascinating stories lined up for you. First up, China is grappling with a massive data storage issue. According to the National Data Resources Survey Report 2023, less than 3% of the 32.85 ZB of data generated last year was stored and processed. The report highlights the need for better storage technologies and digital transformation among large enterprises to tap into the potential value of this data. Next, the battle for AI dominance in China is heating up as tech giants like ByteDance, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent engage in a fierce price war. These companies are drastically cutting prices on their chatbot services, with ByteDance Doubao Pro costing as low as 0.0008 yuan per 1,000 token prompt. While this price war is hurting AI startups, it is expected to lead to significant efficiency gains over time. And finally, Hollywood actress Scarlett Johansson has slammed OpenAI for using a synthetic voice that mimics her without permission. Johansson argues that this behavior is a violation of basic human dignity and has called for stricter regulations to prevent such practices. OpenAI, on the other hand, maintains that AI voices should not deliberately mimic a celebrity's distinctive voice. Please stay tuned for more details on these stories. South China Morning Post. China is grappling with significant data wastage due to its lagging data storage and processing capabilities. A recent survey revealed that less than 3% of the 32.85 zettabytes of data generated in China last year was stored and processed. The National Data Resources Survey Report 2023, presented at a Digital Economy Summit in Fujian, highlighted that nearly 40% of stored data was neither read nor reused. The report emphasized the need for China to invest in advancing storage technologies and improving data management practices. Professor Andy Chun from City University of Hong Kong noted that this issue is not unique to China, as globally only a small fraction of generated data is stored due to privacy, security, and cost concerns. Chun anticipates a rise in China's data retention rates driven by the adoption of generative AI technologies, which require large volumes of personal data for training. The survey also pointed out that a significant number of Chinese companies lack data management systems, and only a small percentage effectively reuse their data. To fully exploit the potential of its data resources, China must enhance its national computing power infrastructure and encourage digital transformation among its enterprises. South China Morning Post. Chinese tech giants are engaging in a fierce price war over large language models, LLMs, as they strive to outperform OpenAI's ChatGPT. Companies like ByteDance, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent have drastically reduced prices for their LLM services, with some offerings being nearly free. ByteDance Doubao Pro, for instance, charges a mere 0.0008 yuan per 1,000 token prompt, significantly undercutting OpenAI's rates. This aggressive pricing strategy is seen as a way to attract more clients and gain market share, although it raises concerns about the sustainability and quality of the models. The price cuts have sparked a competitive response from other tech giants, leading to a race that could potentially harm smaller AI startups. Despite the high costs associated with running LLMs, companies are investing in efficiency improvements to lower operational expenses. Analysts believe that while the price war might lead to short-term losses, it could pay off in the long run as firms vie for dominance in the AI market. The competition has also spurred advancements in model training and inferencing efficiencies, which are crucial for reducing costs and enhancing performance. South China Morning Post. Scarlett Johansson has condemned OpenAI for using a synthetic voice that closely mimicked hers without consent, highlighting the ethical concerns surrounding AI-generated content. Johansson expressed outrage over OpenAI's attempt to use her voice, which even her family and friends found indistinguishable from her real voice. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman had approached Johansson to create a synthetic voice, claiming it would provide comfort to AI users, but Johansson saw this as a violation of her personal rights. OpenAI's blog post denying the imitation and calling for ethical AI voice practices did little to assuage concerns. This incident underscores the need for stringent regulations to protect individuals from unauthorized use of their likenesses by AI companies. Meanwhile, Altman's cryptocurrency project, which collects biometric data for a global identity network, has also faced backlash for privacy invasions. The Hong Kong government has rightly ordered a halt to this data collection, emphasizing the importance of safeguarding personal information. As AI technology advances, the potential for misuse of personal attributes grows, necessitating robust legal frameworks to protect human dignity and privacy. The Independent. The latest episode of Doctor Who, titled Dot and Bubble, is a wild blend of Black Mirror and a David Attenborough documentary, bringing together social media influencers and giant bugs. The episode is anything but subtle, with showrunner Russell T Davies hammering home the message that social media turns us into snarky dimwits who can't navigate the world without our devices. The episode begins in a curated toy town called Fine Time, where young trendy folk communicate via their dot and bubble devices, a sort of 24/7 interactive TikTok feed. The story follows Lindy Pepperbean, an influencer whose obliviousness to the real world is shattered when the doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, and Ruby, Millie Gibson, warn her about giant slugs devouring her friends. The plot thickens as the doctor reveals that the slugs are controlled by self-aware dots tired of catering to spoiled airheads. The climax sees Lindy's dot going on a rampage, leading to a gruesome scene where Ricky September's head is eviscerated. The episode ends with Lindy and her companions rejecting the doctor's help, revealing their underlying racism. While the episode is fun and the bugs are terrifying, the overacting by Gatwa feels like a misstep. The Independent. The Exterminator tool, a collaboration between OkCupid and Photoroom, allows users to erase their exes from old photos. While it might seem like a way to heal and move on, the experience can be unsettling. The tool was developed in response to research showing that many singles want to erase their exes from photos to get over a breakup. However, removing an ex from a picture feels deeply symbolic, as if trying to pretend they never existed. Counseling psychologist Joe Coker advises against rushing to destroy mementos of past relationships, as they are part of our journey and learning curve. The author of the article tried using the tool on various photos but found the results eerie and unsettling. The process triggered a sense of strangeness, as the erased photos left a black chasm where the ex used to be. The article concludes that life is a patchwork of pleasure and pain, and deleting exes from photos doesn't erase the memories or the impact they had on our lives. Instead, it's better to keep the originals and reflect on the experiences that shaped us. Yahoo US. With Big 12 media days approaching, win totals for the 2024 season have been released, with Utah having the highest at 9.5 and Houston the lowest at 4. Utah's favorable schedule includes staying within the Beehive State for the entire non-conference slate and avoiding some of the expected Big 12 contenders in conference play. The return of quarterback Cam Rising is a significant factor, as he is expected to restore Utah's offense to its former glory. Meanwhile, Colorado, led by Deion Sanders, has a win total set at 5.5, reflecting skepticism about Sanders' ability to turn the program around. BYU, on the other hand, has a win total of 4.5 and faces uncertainty at the quarterback position and a defense that struggled last season. Kansas State is seen as a major contender, with high expectations for quarterback Avery Johnson and a strong defense. The article also highlights the importance of Utah's early games against Oklahoma State and Arizona, which could set the tone for the season. The Globe and Mail. Rosalie Walton, from her home in Seattle, shared her mixed feelings about the death of Robert Pickton, the man who took her sister Dawn Cray's life. Walton, like many families of Pickton's victims, felt a complex blend of emotions ranging from relief to sorrow. Pickton, who was convicted in 2007 for the murders of 6 women and linked to the remains or DNA of another 33, died following a violent assault in prison. Families gathered at a park in downtown Eastside to honor their lost loved ones with mementos and flowers, grappling with their emotions. Walton expressed sadness that her sister never witnessed the family's reconnection in adulthood, while Michelle Pinault, mother of Stephanie Lane, found joy in Pickton's death, having lived without her daughter for 28 years. Cynthia Cardinal, sister of Georgina Papine, noted that Pickton's death might bring healing to many families who never had their day in court. The incident has prompted statements from officials, with BC Premier David Eby and opposition leader Kevin Falcon bluntly stating, "Good riddance," while acknowledging the need to value every individual in society. Associated Press. Brian Arendt's grand slam in the second inning set the tone for UNC Wilmington's dominant 9-0 victory over Georgia Tech at the Athens Regional. RJ Sales pitched a stellar game, allowing just 3 hits before exiting in the 8th inning, as UNC Wilmington, 40-19, advanced to face top-seeded Georgia. Georgia Tech, 31-24, on the other hand, will battle Army in an elimination game. The Yellow Jackets starter, Brett Thomas, struggled early, loading the bases before Arendt's homer. Sales, who improved to 11-3, left after consecutive walks, but Luke Craig struck out 2 to end the threat. UNC Wilmington's offense exploded in the bottom of the inning, with Arendt being hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, followed by Kevin Jones' 2-run single and Jack Kroom's 2-run double, sealing the game. Despite Thomas's early exit, Cameron Hill provided 3 1-3 shutout innings for Georgia Tech, but the damage had already been done. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.